So your first stop in the minor leagues, were you married at that point?
I was not. No.
Okay, so how old were you again?
So 19 years old. Yeah.
And was that when you went to Tampa?
Went to Tampa, Florida.
Tell us about the transition then. You're moving from home. What's the mindset? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
You're a teenager among men.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you know, the good thing is obviously they send in Tampa where they sent me, they sent a lot of the younger players. You know, that's where they sent us. But yeah, I mean, my mindset, I'd never been away from, home really before. And my mindset, my first thing was, I got to find a church to get involved in. And it really was. So that was priority number one. And God really, blessed me, with that. One of my pitching coaches there, I started asking around and trying to figure out, if anybody knew of a good church, a church that I could try or whatever. And I found a church there called Idlewild Baptist, who the pastor is Pastor Ken Witten. I know Pastor Greg knows him real well. Mm-hmm. Pastor Ken, I'm 19 years old. I go to his church. I meet him, and he is, to this day, like a second father to me. I mean, so that's the kind of, that's how God, I feel like his hand was on me and in my career to be able to have, right when I get to Tampa, to be able to meet a man like that and a godly man to just influence me and help me to carry, throughout my baseball career, through the good times, through the bad times. And so, that was really one of the first things that I did.
I know you grew up in a church setting.
Yeah.
Was that? I think you and Laura met at Deer Park, right?
Yeah. My wife's a PK. So I met her when I was 15 years old. Her father was a pastor. All of her brothers were pastors. And, I had to mind my P's and Q's, that's for sure, walking into that family. But, yeah, church, I thank the Lord from a young age. Church was extremely important to me. I accepted Jesus when I was 11 years old. I was raised in church. My parents always took me to church. But I never had someone preach to me and preach the gospel to me until I was 11 years old. I heard that I was a sinner and I needed a Savior, and I needed to ask Jesus Christ into my heart and ask him to forgive me. And that was the first time I had really ever heard that. And man, when I heard that, I walked the aisles and accepted Jesus whenever I was 11 years old. And so church was a huge, part of my life. Me and Laura were extremely involved in church. Whenever I'd come home from the off seasons and stuff like that, we'd serve in the church. We'd do whatever we could to obviously continue to grow in our walk and in our faith. That was a huge part of what we did. And of course, there's not a whole lot of options whenever my father-in-law is the pastor and all the brother-in-laws are preachers and involved in the church. But just loved it. The church is extremely important to us, and I feel like it's extremely important to be a body of believers always.